Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 8 included a surprise twist where Lt. Commander James T. Kirk encounters his future archenemy, Khan Noonien Singh, in a way. Directed by Jordan Canning and written by Dana Horgan and Henry Alonso Myers, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 8, 4.5 Vulcans, is the series' latest Vulcan-themed comedy. When Captain Christopher Pike, Lt. Lon Noonien Singh, Nurse Christine Chappell, and Ensign Nyota Uhura are genetically altered into Vulcans, the process can't be reversed. Negative aspects of Vulcan logic consume the USS Enterprise crew members, but the most disturbing change happens to Lon. Meanwhile, Lt. Commander Kirk beams aboard the starship Enterprise and invites Scotty and Lon for drinks. Kirk and Scotty soon witness Lon exhibiting nefarious and psychotic tendencies, musing about arming the Enterprise with greater weapons and starting a war. Why, Lon sounded a lot like Khan. Lt. Lon Noonien Singh's transformation into a Vulcan not only enhanced her intellect and logic, but it tapped something innate inside her. Lon is human, but she inherited the augmented genetic traits of her ancestor, Khan Noonien Singh. Khan was a genetically engineered dictator, a stronger and smarter Superman who conquered much of Earth. Lt. Commander James T. Kirk and Scotty were naturally alarmed by Lon's diabolical plot to start an interstellar war, and Lon even cold-cocked Kirk, who wondered aloud, why is she so strong? Luckily, a quick-thinking Scotty rigged a booby trap to subdue Lon before she could execute her supervillain plan. In Star Trek, the original series Season 1's classic episode, Space Seed, Khan attempts to hijack the Starship Enterprise, not unlike Lon's plan to turn the starship into a warship. Captain James T. Kirk bests Khan in hand-to-hand combat and strands the tyrant and his followers on the planet Ceti Alpha V. In Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, however, Lt. Commander Kirk has no idea that Lon is channeling the aspects of Khan her Vulcan transformation set loose, or that being turned into a Vulcan is why Lon became so strong. Kirk, of course, knows Lon shares a surname with the legendary Khan, but there is no reason for him to put two and two together at this point in Star Trek's timeline. Through Lt. Lon Noonien Singh, Khan has been connected to Star Trek: Strange New Worlds since its inception. Lon is essentially a foreshadowing of the eventuality of Khan, though no one who will join Captain Kirk's Starship Enterprise crew during Strange New Worlds knows that they are destined to face Khan in just a few years' time. Khan Desmond Sivan did shockingly appear in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 3, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, when Lon and an alternate reality, Captain James T. Kirk time traveled to 21st century Toronto. Strange New Worlds revealed an altered timeline where Khan was now a child. In Star Trek, the original series, Khan ruled 2/3 of Earth in the 1990s before he and his followers fled the planet when they lost the eugenics wars. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds has shifted the timeline so that Khan and the eugenics wars happened decades later. Further, Khan had offspring, and, eventually, Lon was born with Khan's genetic traits. Although it took the ludicrous circumstances of Lt. Lon Noonien Singh being turned into a Vulcan, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 8 illustrates why Lon has always feared the aspects of Khan within her. Lon's taciturn personality was the result of her childhood abduction by the Gorn, but she also feared becoming like Khan. Because of her infamous surname, Lon was teased as a child and called Augment by other children. This cruel mockery scarred Lon. Although the USS Enterprise's security chief is a human without augmented abilities, Lon's brief turn as a Vulcan proved she has the capacity to become an evildoer just like Khan. Meeting Khan as a child in Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 3 helped Lon reconcile her feelings about her evil ancestor. Lon seemed to put any fears of Khan she harbored behind her, and Lt. Noonien Singh has been more open to new life experiences like dancing with and dating LT. Spock Ethan Peck in Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 3. Indeed, it was Spock's connection to Lon that allowed the Vulcan science officer to reach Lon through her Vulcan Katra and pull her back to humanity and away from the Khan within her. Time will tell in Star Trek Strange New Worlds whether her experience as a Vulcan version of Khan will haunt Lon going forward, although she seemed to have bounced back nicely by the end of 4.5 Vulcans. For nearly 6 decades, the mythos of Star Trek has been shaped not only by exploration and discovery, but also by the unforgettable adversaries who pushed Starfleet captains to their limits. For Captain James T. Kirk, few enemies loom larger than Khan Noonien Singh, the genetically engineered tyrant whose intellect, charisma, and lust for conquest nearly cost Kirk and the Enterprise everything. Traditionally, the first canonical meeting between Kirk and Khan occurs in Star Trek, the original series episode Space Seed 1967. But recent developments across Strange New Worlds and the expanded Trek canon may have found a bold and surprisingly elegant way for Kirk to encounter his greatest enemy long before the Enterprise stumbles upon the Botany Bay. And if handled correctly, this doesn't just deepen the rivalry between Kirk and Khan, it reframes it, making their later showdown even more chilling. Strange New Worlds has repeatedly played with the edges of canon while still respecting it. Paul Wesley's portrayal of a younger James T. Kirk has already given fans glimpses of the man he will become. His appearances in alternate timelines and pivotal missions set up the idea that Kirk's destiny has always been intertwined with Starfleet's most dangerous threats. The Season 2 finale leaned into this further when Lon Noonien Singh, a direct descendant of Khan, was forced into a moral confrontation with her family's legacy. The episode teased that Khan's shadow still hangs heavily over Starfleet, even in an era where he has not yet officially reappeared. But there's more. Through temporal incursions, alternate realities, and Section 31 meddling, the writers have quietly laid the groundwork for Kirk to cross paths with Khan before Space Seed ever takes place. The easiest and most compelling way to bridge this gap lies in time travel, a tool Star Trek has wielded with both caution and brilliance. Imagine a scenario where Khan is prematurely awakened from stasis, not permanently, but briefly through interference by an outside force. Section 31, in their obsession with controlling threats before they emerge, might experiment with Khan and his followers decades too early. Who would they send to stop it? None other than James Kirk, perhaps still serving aboard the Farragut or in an early Enterprise command. The result would be an explosive first encounter that doesn't break canon, because history itself could be corrected. Khan would be forced back into stasis, his memory clouded, leaving Space Seed intact while giving Kirk a foretaste of his deadliest foe. This would transform the Wrath of Khan dynamic immeasurably. When Khan declares, "This is Admiral Kirk, my old friend," in Star Trek II, fans would know he wasn't just recalling the Enterprise incident. He was remembering a fateful clash from decades earlier, one Kirk had long buried but Khan never forgot. The emotional core, the creative brilliance of such a twist lies not in action sequences, but in character stakes. For Kirk, meeting Khan early would force him to confront the nature of leadership in a way no other adversary could. Khan is everything Kirk fears: brilliant, charismatic, and dangerously certain of his own superiority. The fact that Kirk might barely survive this premature confrontation could shape his command style, hardening his instincts against tyranny while reminding him of the limits of his own power. For Khan, the encounter would seed an obsession. If he crossed swords with a young James Kirk, he would carry that memory into exile. By the time of Space Seed, the rage simmering within him would not just be about betrayal or confinement, it would be about unfinished business with the one man who dared challenge him. Protecting canon. The challenge with any such storyline is protecting canon. Space Seed clearly presents Kirk's meeting with Khan as a first-time encounter. But Trek has already given itself narrative outs, parallel timelines, memory alterations, and temporal resets. If Section 31 wiped records and tampered with Khan's memories, or if the timeline self-corrected after Kirk's interference, both men could meet again on the Enterprise without contradiction. Indeed, this would echo how Strange New Worlds handled Kirk's alternate future appearances. Events happened, but history smoothed them over. Such narrative sleight of hand is risky, but when done carefully, it enriches canon rather than breaks it. Why it works thematically. Kirk and Khan's rivalry has always been Shakespearean, defined by destiny, obsession, and hubris, allowing them to meet before the original series with the sense that they were always meant to clash. It turns their battle from a single fateful accident into a cosmic inevitability. Moreover, it ties directly into Strange New Worlds' themes of legacy and burden. Lon struggles with the curse of her family name. Kirk could carry the secret that he once fought her infamous ancestor. Both characters would become mirrors for each other, wrestling with the weight of Khan's existence long before he formally enters history. By giving Kirk an early glimpse of Khan, Star Trek could reframe the wrath of Khan as the culmination of a decades-long struggle. Instead of their hatred springing from a single event, it would become a rivalry written across time itself. It also deepens Khan as a villain. Instead of simply being a relic from the eugenics wars, he becomes a figure who has stalked Kirk's career from its earliest days. That inevitability would make his vengeance in Star Trek II all the more devastating, because it wouldn't just be about marooning him on Ceti Alpha V. It would be about a promise made in the shadows of Starfleet's past finally exploding into the light. Conclusion: Star Trek thrives when it balances reverence for its past with bold narrative risks. Allowing James T. Kirk to meet Khan before the original series is precisely that kind of risk, one that, if handled with the nuance of Strange New Worlds, could enrich the mythology without undermining it. For Kirk, it would be the secret crucible that forged him into the captain we know. For Khan, it would be the spark of an obsession that defines his destiny. And for fans, it would be a revelation that the battle between Kirk and Khan was never just about the Enterprise. It was about fate itself. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.